Good evening, YouTube. I want to go over a couple of knives. I just recently got this in the mail the other day. This is a knife that I wanted to try out and picked up. This is the Mora 2000. Nice little survival knife, or at least backwoods knife. And I wanted to compare it to my cold steel Finbear. Now, the nice thing about the Mora makes it is they're from Sweden. They make excellent knives, very high quality, very well known. But you don't see a lot of it here, at least not where I am. I don't believe I've ever seen a Mora knife sold in any of the shops, small shops, any place up here, which is a shame because they're a very well reviewed knife. Now, this knife here, the 2000. And it's a little over 8 inches long overall. Has notice a nice bevel on that blade. This is a Scandi blade right about here, and then it's tapered off, and you can see the difference there. And some people like that, some do not. I have yet to really try this out, but this actually is the standard issue knife of the Swedish Army, and it's got a nice. This is hard plastic. This is hard plastic here. But this is like a nice rubberized material. Very, very comfortable grip on that knife. And as much as I like my cold steel Finbear, the grip difference between the Finbear and the Mora is outstanding. The Mora does have a better grip to it. And I think as far as the blade sharpness, the blade is I would say is about as sharp between one or the other. But this is a very nice knife. And this knife here, I got with shipping for right around $24, which is outstanding for the money. Now, let's go. The one thing is, okay, here's the sheath for the cold steel Finbear. Now, this is the sheath for the Mora. This is a hard plastic. It's got a leather carrying thong here, which is not the greatest, but it's not bad. And one nice thing I noticed about the Mora is that this is actually ambidextrous. This'll when you put this in, you'll hear that distinctive click. Now the nice thing is this is ambidextrous. It works both ways. So if anybody was left-handed, that is a much better bet than something like this, which is obviously a right-handed sheath. And it has the drain holes, as you can see there, and it's well made. It's a nice heavy plastic. But between the two knives, as I can say right now, which of the two would I get if I was buying a backwoods knife? I would say it would definitely, just off the top right now, it would be this. Between the comfort of the handle, of that grip, it's very, very, very nice, and the blade, I'd say the blade sharpness again is about as good as the cold steel Finbear. And having used the Finbear, I can tell you that is one of the best blades I've ever used. And this is probably going to be not far behind. The only thing is this is a little more rounded off than I like for using on a fire steel, so that might be a little trickier. Whereas the cold steel, they're both not the greatest, but I think both would work. So, this is just a quick overview. I'm going to do a nice head-to-head comparison of these eventually. Probably the next week or so, once the weather perks up. I'm going to do a head-to-head and really, really, really test out both of them with equal time, equal skills. Because right now, between the two, I mean, this was a $13 knife. This was right around $24. I would tell you to spend the extra $10 and buy this, and for what you're spending, you're getting a heck of a knife. I'm telling you, this is. I've looked at a lot of knives recently. I've been to a lot of different places, a lot of different shops, testing out, or at least looking over some knives. I really couldn't get a test because they weren't mine, but just comfort and feel. This thing whips the daylights out of the Gerber Bear Grylls knife. At least the supposed survival knife. The comfort of that knife is atrocious. It's not at all a knife I would really want to spend $50, $60 on. when a U.S. Air Force survival knife will run rings around it, and this is just as good, I think, as far as that knife goes. This is more comfortable than a couple of the buck knives I've looked at. Some of the made in China knives, they want just as much as some of the cheaper made in China knives as they want for this knife here, and you're not going to get a better quality than the Swedish Mora. They make there's outstanding knives. So this is just a quick overview between these two. Like I said, as of right now, just with this little comparison, just having played around with it for the last couple of days, between the two, just in quality, looking at them, I would buy the Mora 2000. So that's just a quick overview, folks, and we're going to go from there and see what I can come up with in another week or so. Have a good night.